What's up guys, KFC Plays here, back with another video, and today I'm going to talk about the future update for Wings of Duty 2018. Before this video starts, I just want to say that the developers are not sponsoring me for this, and this is just purely out of fun. I think that would be really nice for people to know about this, because not a lot of people are on the Facebook forums or on the developer forums, or even on Discord. So if you guys would please do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe if you really enjoyed. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now, a lot of people want to know what planes, what damage models, what skins are coming out, and like I said, I'm not being sponsored by the developers, so I'm not really a community contributor. But in the sense of community contributing, I do support this game, I do donate to this game, and overall I just love the game. So for allies right now, what I've seen and what has been confirmed by Rudolph Rednose is that the P-51 is coming out. It's coming to the game. The developers have said it might come out before, and now they've made statements. There was a post in the Facebook forum group that said, why can't we get the dive bomber for Japanese? And the Rudolph Red-Nosed dude replied as, well, we won't be able to celebrate this or get this. I can't remember what he said, but he posted a link, and the link was P-51s. Now, if that isn't enough information to tell you that the P-51 is coming out, well, I don't know what is, because there is a game called Megali that they have also released, but it was way back before this game, that has a P-51 model. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to make an entire new one, or they're going to reuse this. But the P-51 is definitely coming out, and those fans out there that really love the P-51, well, it's your lucky day, because the game's definitely, the plane's definitely coming out. It's been confirmed, and I'm not sure how it'll be added to the game, but I hope it'll be balanced and it won't be like some planes in the game that were unbalanced and now have been balanced before. Speaking of balance issues and rebalancing, the British are getting, I think, 2 or 3 new aircraft. Now, the aircraft that are being added are not fighters, according to my information. Right now, there are only heavy bombers and heavy fighters. Heavy bomber such as the Lancaster, and a heavy fighter such as the Mosquito. Now, if you don't know what these planes are, I highly recommend you do a lot of research, because they are pretty interesting planes. The Mosquito was a plane which was entirely designed out of wood, with a couple metal parts here and there, and the later models had wood but with a little bit of steel or some aluminium here and there. And then you fall into that category of 4-engine bombers with the Lancaster. Now, the Lancaster is a very big plane. Now, how are they going to add it? I don't know. Because according to my research and the statistics that I looked at, it's similar to the B-17. Those are 2 very big planes. That would be a huge damage model, a huge model to design, and quite frankly, I'm not sure if it's going to come out with Stalingrad, but if it does, that would be pretty awesome. And the Mosquito is also a very fast aircraft, so having a fast aircraft in the game for British would be very helpful. And for all of you bombers out there that are desperately in need of bombing some ground targets with new damage models, new aircraft, and just quite frankly, new nation, the Russians are coming out. So you'll see things like Peshkas and IL-2s, and also forgot to mention G4M2's coming out. So you Japanese lovers out there, you are getting a new bomber. The Betty is a good bomber, although it does have its slight difficulties in bombing things without being crippled to death by that one-wing fire that absolutely destroys the plane and completely takes it out of the game. Let's not forget the Luftwaffe, or the Germans. Now, the Germans are getting the 109K. It is a better version of well, the 109. It's the variant leading up to really like the heavy caliber and more deadly cannons. And it's really a very fast and maneuverable plane that I think Germany needed, because the 109G right now, as good as it is, it's not really working out for some people. And if it's not working out for some people, then we just need new planes. Right now this game is kind of just dull. We have almost nothing coming in the game, and this update really built up this game. Also, for you guys that are a big fan of kamikazing, the KF-43 will get the 250 kilogram bombs, which are pretty big. In fact, I think that will weigh it down quite substantially, and it'll be very hard for newbies or new players to take off or just buy that plane and equip the 250s. So I don't really agree with it, but then again, you need a lot of and a big variety of different things and different attachments and bombs and stuff in the game. So it really does help and add, a lot of specs and cool stuff up to the game. Now people really want to know what is being added map-wise. For those of you that don't know, we're getting an estimated 3 new maps, all of which are in different regions of the world. But one most famous, or one of these famous on the list, is Stalingrad. Now on the screen you can see me, viewing Stalingrad and looking around. But what will we see on Stalingrad? Now we'll definitely see tanks like the T-34, the A-32, the BT-7, but that's as far as I know. I'm not really of a tank person, I'm more of a plane person. We'll see things in Stalingrad like the IL-2, the LA-5, the Yak-1. Not sure if the LA-7N or LA-5N will come in, because those are kind of just not that era, but it's really up to the developers in the sense of the way they add planes in this game is they look at what were in the actual battles. So if you really, really, really want to know what planes are coming in next, you really have to dig deep in history and look at what planes were fought during World War II in each of these maps, scenarios, and battles. And let's not forget that sometimes the developers add things that are ridiculous. Now, I'm not saying that the Hurricane Mark II for Japanese wasn't ridiculous, but come on, you could have done better. I'm talking about things like the P-47, the P-51 that the Germans had captured, all these cool premiums that were in World War II in the same era. Now, why these planes aren't being added, I think they're being held to up until we get Stalingrad, Normandy, and I think it's Tubuck. I'm not too sure how do you pronounce that one? But like I said, if you really, really, really want to know what's coming out, you just have to look at the history and what planes were used during each battle of every map we have, because really it can be anything. And leading up to Stalingrad leaves us with the notorious Battle of Normandy, or Battle of Normandy, or the beaches of Normandy, or as everyone, or most historians know it, or really anybody knows it, as D-Day. And with Normandy said, that means we are finally getting a map where the Germans and Americans finally engage in a realistic battle. And man, I am so happy for this. With the new P-51 being added, it'll just be fun. That's all I have to say. For those of you that don't know, it was the Allied invasion of the Nazi Germany's in occupied France. It was named Normandy. I can't remember why, but I think it was, I can't remember why. But this is mind-blowing. They're finally getting back to European theater. They've gone far as Battle of Britain and left it there. And now that they're bringing Normandy, that is a warm welcome feeling. I don't know what other planes are being added for American, if there are being any new planes at all. But I am stoked about Normandy. And now the biggest hype for most people is that we are getting a map called, I cannot pronounce, and I will now have to learn after this video, Tubuk or Turbuk. But if you guys don't know, this battle was the battle that basically saved all of Africa. And the catch here is that it wasn't Germany versus British, America, Australia, Czechoslovakia. It was British, Czechoslovakia, America, other nations versus Germany and Italy. So that means that we're going to see things like the MC-202 with or without the machine guns, cannons, the G-56, and many other planes. They have a very wide selection of bombers. And I'm more hype about that than anything, because the fighters are fun, but the bombers, the Italians they designed their bombers with the utmost respect. They did it well. And if this isn't a turning point, then if you guys don't see that this could be a realistic mode that we can finally have two nations fighting one or two nations fighting at the same time in a realistic battle. So just think about that. Let that sink in. But if it doesn't, and this is just me procrastinating, then, well, I'm just going to keep dreaming, because I really want something like that. Now, with that said, a couple honorable mentions. The ME-262. How that might be added to the game, I have no idea. It is a jet. It wasn't the first jet ever made during World War II, but it was the first jet to oversee its many failures and become a factory, developed and, battle-hardened aircraft that the Germans used, or really any aircraft used, that worked but was very expensive and just had many problems. And a plane that personally I'd like, or developers could add, was the Ta-152. If you guys don't know, that is my favorite plane of all time. I don't care what anyone says, that plane is literally the sexiest plane alive. And anyone who disagrees with me, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do to you, but you better not disagree. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But last but not least, I think the biggest one to me was that the French might be added to the game. Now, I'm not sure when they will, and I haven't read up on anything that the developers have said anything, really, or anyone else has leaked anything. But the French are being considered to be added to the game. Now, if they don't add it to the game, it makes sense, because there wasn't really many. I mean, there was a lot of French planes, but they're just hard to make, in the sense of, well, if we get certain fighters that just sucked because they were monoplanes or biplanes, and certain planes that kind of were experimental planes like the Narval, then you really can't add that to the game. But as I said, it is being considered, as well as Italians. They might be added to the game, and quite frankly, I wouldn't be too ashamed or too displeased with this. This is a nice honorable mention. Now, with that said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If I missed something or I didn't clear something clear enough for you, leave a comment and I will answer. But thank you guys for watching, if you guys did watch, and for those of you that do watch my videos, thank you. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you're new, and honestly, guys, I'm stoked for this update. So if you are, then I don't know, leave a like or something. Do something cool. Do a backflip right now. I don't know. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys